Okay, so I posted a TikTok just of me cutting my hair, how I basically cutting like my face framing, and loads of people were asking me for like a more detailed step-by-step tutorial of how I actually do the video from start to finish. So yeah, I thought I would just do that. So this is the TikTok for those of you who haven't seen it. I'll just... Obviously I've washed my hair, it's wet, that's really important. You don't want to ever try to cut dry hair because it just feels 10 times thicker and you're not going to have as much control over the haircut. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is part your hair down the middle. So yeah, once you've got your hair in the middle parting that you're happy with, you want to take a little triangle which is going to form the front section of your hair. So however thick you want that will be like, however thick you want these sections of hair will be determined by the size of the triangle that you cut in initially. So I'm just going to go in with a sort of like medium size, little triangle here. Like I might need to play around with it to get it exactly even. That's too much. So yeah, I'm just going to clip these bits of hair out of the way, and then I'm going to take the hair and brush it forwards, and I'm just going to cut this to the length that I want the shortest piece to be. So I want it to be sort of just at my lip. I feel like that's a good length because when it dries it's going to bounce up a little bit, and I don't want it to be super short. It's not going to be a proper daisy fringe. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to brush it all down to about my lip, and then I'm going to cut. Okay, so now we've got these two pieces. If you want, it's completely up to you. You can point cut that, just like this, if you're worried about it being too harsh. That will save you a job later because afterwards I go back through and I like point cut everything to really blend everything out and soften any sharp lines that might be there. So yeah, that's completely up to you. You can do that now or you can do that later. It's really your choice. So now I'm going to work on the next section. Okay, and now I've taken a section, just effectively just one section back in the same angle of the triangle that I took first of all. And then what I'm going to do is, so where this angle of my parting is, I'm going to pull the hair forwards in that exact angle, and I'm going to bring it all the way down, and here I can see the guide underneath from the hair that I cut last time. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that on camera, but you'll be able to see it in the mirror. So then following that angle, and that's really important because this, making sure that you're parallel with this angle is going to make sure that it's symmetrical on both sides, because you're following a structure rather than just freestyling it. You might pull one like too high and one too low and then it's not going to match. So let that be your guide, and of course also the middle section is going to obviously be your guide, and that's going to be like the starting off point. So I pull this down and I start at this point here, but okay, so where I pulled it forwards last time, it's a straight cut. Now, because I'm coming diagonally across with this one, I'm going to go to the shortest point here, but naturally it's going to start to get longer and longer because I'm diagonal now. So then I'm just going to cut this part here down, okay? And now we're starting to get like a bit of that diagonal vibe going on. And then I'm just going to take my next section. Okay, and then the next step is similar, but this time, again, I'm going to be following the angle of my parting and brushing it forwards. And I'm still looking for my guide, which I can see is here, but this time, when it comes to cutting it, I'm going to come on top of my fingers and I'm going to exaggerate the angle. So I'm not just following the guide again because it will just be too short. I'm now starting the process of blending it into the lengths of my hair. So what I do is I see my guide, I'm going to go slightly lower than my guide. If you can't see your guide, don't cut the hair, like that's really crucial. So now I'm starting at the guide, I'm going to come in on top and I'm going to exaggerate I'm going to exaggerate it. And if it falls out like that, it doesn't matter, just go back in. Okay. And now, you know, it's getting very, very angular. We're not having any harsh lines at the moment. And then I'm going to start bringing in more hair. See that? I'll split this in two though, I won't do these two parts together, but I will just keep them out just so that I can get a feel for the angle that I'm pulling the hair to. A bit thin naturally, I don't know why, they're kind of like my baby hairs I guess, I'm not sure. Maybe they're just damaged, fuck no. Another section now. I brush all of my hair forward and then now I'm just cutting these bottom parts. You can even just kind of look at it now, like, I know it needs to be sort of like a diagonal, so like you can just kind of start to take off anything that isn't matching the diagonal angle that you need. So then we've got this, and now I'm just going to brush my hair down and have a little look at like which parts need to be included in it now to make the rest of it blend in. I'm a bit low. Yeah, and then, so for the end part, just gonna like have a little look, and I feel like I can just see, so if you brush your hair forwards, right, you will sort of see a shape, and anything that doesn't fit within that angle that you've created there needs to go, okay? So like, I'll just brush it forwards, I'm gonna look from the inside. Yeah, and so from here, this is where my guide ends again. It's time to just go. And then yeah, now I've just got like a nice gradient of hair that when I blow dry it, it's going to be really, really well blended, but it's going to give me a lot of choppy layers here at the front. Yeah, and you can, I just kind of have a look at it and just think like, is it all where I want it? Again, I think in the TikTok that I did cut the whole cut. I can't remember if I point cutted it before or after for that video, but it basically doesn't make a difference, like it's the same thing. You can point cut, you cannot. I will go back in and point cut once I dry my hair though, like it's not an optional step, it's just like it's up to you when you do it. So yeah, like that's gonna just be like really, really nice and layered now. It's gonna give me a lot of volume and bounce. And then I'll try to do the exact same thing again, but I'll show you what the differences are, because it's obviously I'm left-handed, so for me that's my easier side because I've got the scissors in my left hand and I just, when it comes to doing this side, I'm not quite as confident with my
following my parting to get the right shape. I'm gonna find my guide. I'm just gonna cut that guide.
So yeah, so when it comes to pulling this over now, it's not as easy for me to just extend my fingers and go like this backwards on myself. That's obviously going to be a bit of a struggle. So then for this section here, you can clearly see the guide underneath, right? For this section here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over, but then I'm going to just kind of come in upside down. I know that I now want to start to exaggerate this to blend it into my length, so I'm just going to go like this, and I will kind of do a bit more of a point cut this time. And I'll come up, oopsie, and I'm just going to make sure that I am meeting my guide there. Little bits of baby hair in, which like, there aren't loads again. I'll just kind of do the same thing. So I'm just matching the length of the longest part of the previous cut and just kind of blending it down. Now, you can't do that the whole way because your hair, it just isn't going to work, okay? What I'm going to do for this section is, oopsie, I'm going to brush it to where I want it. Then I'm going to twist the comb around and pinch it. And now I can find my guide, pull my fingers slightly lower than my guide, and just go in backwards. So if you were right-handed, you would need to do this on the other side. But yeah, like what I just did, it takes a bit of confidence, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if people were like nervous to try that on themselves, but like just practice. And I can see there that I'm not really completely satisfied with that blend. Am I? Actually, yeah, I am. Am I? It's hard to tell. I think there, like that corner there could come off. But yeah, like a lot of it is just kind of like eyeballing it. Yeah, I can see that that corner definitely needs to come off there. So I'll just come in slightly shorter, just right there. I'm happy with the blend of the rest of it. So now, just like similar to what I did last time, I just want to see like which part of that naturally kind of, I can't explain it, I just look at it and I'm like, yeah, that part needs to come off now. Then just twist the comb around, pinch the hair, come down, and then I can see that it's just like, there's no gradient there at the end anymore, it's just kind of like a blunt cut. So I'm just going to come in and remove that corner and blend that all the way down to the bottom length. Okay, and then that's literally it. Yeah, so now I'm going to blow dry it. I'm going to dry it like nice and bouncy, however I want it, and then after it's dry, I'm going to go in and like cut upwards into it. Okay, so now we've got this, which obviously looks completely mad. And I'm just going to start kind of like raking it out with my fingers. Okay, and then I'll just show you how I will remove a little bit of the weight from the hair. So I'm going to go back through like section by section. That's the angle. You see how that is a line there? I'm not sure if you can tell. But then yeah, I'm just going to start chopping into that line. next section. So this, what I'm doing here is I'm slowly closing the scissors as I kind of drag down. So I'm just taking like small pieces. I'm gonna brush it. But yeah, if I brush it in, then you can really see how the layers are gonna sit now. But obviously I like them, I want them to kind of sit into a degree, but I also like them to kind of like flick backwards a little bit. Like I basically just want them to kind of do their own thing after a while, but yeah, that's that. And then I'll just do exactly the same thing to the other side. So I'll just show you it now all brushed in because I think that looks quite cool. My god, this is literally gonna blind me. So this is the haircut now, all brushed in. So yeah, like you can see it's all like very even all the way down. And these front bits are just gonna sit here nice, like little daisy fringes. And then of course, like it won't look like this the whole time. Like once you've kind of given it a bit of a shake, then yeah, like it's just gonna look like this. So yeah, so like in this particular video, I didn't go into like the layers that I do around the back of my head. Those are actually a bit harder, and I'd recommend just asking your hairdresser to do them. I will make a video showing how I layer the back of my head as well. It's just harder basically. I even find it really hard, and I am a hairdresser. But yeah, that is how I do this haircut. That's literally everything that I do. If you want to see how I blow dried it, I did also film the blow dry. I'm going to upload that in a separate video. I really hope that this was helpful, and yeah, if you did make it all the way to the end of the video and you found this helpful in any way, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. I'm quite new to YouTube. This is literally only my 3rd video, so it really would help me out a lot if you would subscribe to my channel.